got out of a DUI and got let off with a warning.
She claims she flirted her way out of a DUI.
It's hard to believe any part of her video.
That is until Jefferson County Sheriff's Office showed otherwise.
If I could go back in time and take it all back, I would.
Colorado braces for blustery winds and the threat they carry with them.
I'll tell you where the strongest winds are going to be and where we'll see the greatest risk for wildfires.
It's just an antibiotic, and that's the first thing that comes to mind is it's just an antibiotic. We've all taken antibiotics.
Popular medications with potentially life-changing consequences.
It's dangerous. It's destroyed my life.
Denver 7 investigates ask if doctors are overprescribing a drug with serious side effects.
We begin tonight with Colorado facing the threat of hurricane-force winds.
So gusts tomorrow expected to reach 60 to 80 miles per hour. And then you couple that with the dry conditions, well, we could be looking at an active day for wildfires.
Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson gets us started tonight. Mike, where can we see the biggest risk for fires?
The strongest winds are going to be in the foothills and along Highway 93, but out on the eastern plains they'll be strong as well. And with the very dry conditions there, that's the biggest risk for fire. Right now, the strongest winds up on Berthoud Pass at 45 miles per hour, but they've been as high as 60 so far this evening, 43 up at Estes Park. The storm system is going to move through the area, and you can see all the extensive warnings. High wind warnings in the yellow. We have red flag or fire weather warnings in the pink, and that does include areas that are covered by both of those warnings. Meanwhile, in the mountains, winter weather advisories. Not a lot of moisture with this storm, but I think we'll squeeze out 5 to 10 inches of snow for the mountains. Just a few rain showers on the plains. Right now, there's not much happening, but that's going to fill in tonight as the cold front, which is near Salt Lake City, rockets across Colorado by midday tomorrow. So our weather headlines: snow for the mountains, just a few rain showers on the plains, the very strong winds developing, and the high fire danger, especially from I-25 east all the way to Kansas.
All right, Mike, we'll see you in a little bit. Thank you. Wildfires used to be confined to the mountains in summer and early fall.
But as we learned from the Marshall Fire, wildfires can ignite whenever and wherever there's a spark. Ross Shoemaker, a state climatologist, tells Denver 7 that the Marshall Fire shows wildfires are now a year-round threat. The Front Range and foothills also appear as vulnerable as ever.
This is something that I think we're going to have to continue to be aware of, be prepared for. People who live in areas that are vulnerable to fire, which the Marshall Fire shows that is probably more of us than we maybe had been thinking.
With more homes and communities facing the threat of wildfire, experts say there are some easy steps you can take to protect your home. That includes trading mulch for rocks, keeping firewood, patio furniture, and playsets to at least 6 feet away from your home, and relocate trash cans and other combustibles.
Now, conditions have improved over the last few months. Take Boulder County, for example. Tonight, it is considered abnormally dry. Now, that's certainly not ideal, but it is the lowest rung on the U.S. Drought Monitor scale. Now, days before the Marshall Fire, Boulder County was considered to be between severe and extreme drought. Category scientists consider much more serious.
The city of Aurora looking into changing the alert system that warns people when wildfires are burning nearby. During a study session tonight, city council members okayed a resolution for the city to begin using FEMA's iPause. That's the same alert system now being used in Boulder County. iPause works like Amber Alerts, sending notifications directly to people's phones within a certain area instead of requiring people to opt in. Council members will discuss this resolution during their regular meeting next Monday.
In a video seen by thousands, a young woman claims she was able to flirt her way out of a DUI.
Tonight, the Jeffco sheriff says that story's bogus, and now that young woman is coming clean. Today, she talked with Denver 7's CB Cotton.
I got out of a DUI and got let off with a warning.
In a now viral video, this 18-year-old brags about skirting the system, saying a Jefferson County deputy stopped her and she blew a 3.8 on a breathalyzer, but was still let go.
Ladies, I literally just said, I was like, I just got out of a really bad relationship and he's really toxic and he dumped me.
In the video, the teen shows the officer's card and then also claims she's going on a date with him. But on Monday, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office said their deputy did give the teen a warning, but everything else is untrue.
We felt it necessary to provide our body-worn camera video to dispute the allegations that the woman was making in her video.
Well, I'm just concerned that you were weaving because of alcohol, but if you're on your phone...
The deputy says he first noticed the car weaving near this intersection, West Bowles Avenue and South Holland Way. But he says once he approached the car, he didn't notice the teen using any slurred speech or the smell of alcohol.
Absolutely nothing she said was true. He did not ask her out to lunch. He did not do a breathalyzer because she wasn't drunk. There were no indications that she had been drinking. 3.8 is lethal, quite frankly. So even if she meant 0.38, also extreme. So we just had to look at all the factors in her video.
And though the teen didn't have a problem showing her face after the traffic stop, she didn't want to go on camera in an interview with Denver 7. But did say she had been drinking.
I'm not going to lie to the news. I've already lied enough. But I was intoxicated. I was drinking. I was drinking from like 11 o'clock at night to like 2, 3 in the morning that day.
She also says she's sorry for the lives she put at risk and the lies she told.
This officer just let me off with a warning. I thought I was being funny. I was like, oh my God, look at me. Like, I just got out. Like, I'm surprised I didn't get arrested. I am so deeply sorry. That's not who I am as a person. If I could go back in time and take it all back, I would. I have never felt so bad in my life.
Now, in the body camera video, the 18-year-old tells the officer she doesn't have the car's insurance. The officer could have wrote her a ticket for that, but didn't. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office tells me in that moment, the officer was using discretion and was likely trying to have compassion for the teen and the story she told. The Sheriff's Office says the deputy feels frustrated that he was lied to from start to finish.
CB Cotton tonight. Thank you, CB. Brighton police say an infant was left alone for more than 13 hours before she died from a fentanyl overdose. Today, her parents, Alonzo Montoya and Nicole Casillas, made their first appearance in court. And according to an affidavit, the 1-year-old girl was in the same room where fentanyl and crack were being smoked for nearly an hour before she was put to bed during the early morning hours of January 2nd. Investigators say the child cried multiple times but was not checked on. She was found unresponsive that afternoon and died before she could be taken to the hospital. And tests showed the infant's blood contained 10 times the amount of fentanyl needed to kill an adult. Now, both her parents are charged with child abuse resulting in death and distribution of a controlled substance. They're both being held on bond.
2 people are in the hospital tonight after a nasty crash you can see here in Aurora. This one happened at Iliff and Revere Street. Police say a Mini Cooper was driving recklessly and did not stop for an officer before crashing into the SUV. Police say the man driving the Mini Cooper is in serious condition. A woman in the SUV is in critical. They are among the most popular prescription antibiotic drugs ever produced in this country, and chances are they've been prescribed to you and even your children. Tonight, you're about to meet experts, doctors, and patients who will tell you if they're prescribed to you, you might want to ask a few more questions.
Denver 7 investigative reporter Jennifer Kowaleski tonight explains how just a single dose has the potential to change your life forever.
Cipro, Ofloxacin, Levofloxacin. They're some of the most commonly prescribed antibiotics on the market, known as fluoroquinolones. Prescription drugs the FDA says have rare but serious side effects: tendon rupture, neuropathy, impacts to the central nervous system.
It's destroyed my life.
And another less known side effect: suicide.
I saw her at the bottom of the pool, and that's how I found my wife.
And this is that rare prescription drug that can induce what patients and experts say are permanent, disabling reactions with a single dose.
I took the pills and I don't know, I went full psychotic.
John Horn was prescribed Ofloxacin to treat a stomach infection while vacationing with his family.
I'm being burned alive, getting stung by bees, and have constant Charlie horses.
Horn says he's been diagnosed with neuropathy, one of the drug's known side effects, a condition which leaves him in chronic pain, living with a burning pins and needles sensation.
Were the doctors clear with you about the risks?
Oh, people deserve better.
It's been very easy for clinicians to prescribe fluoroquinolones because it treats so many of these infections so effectively.
Tim Jenkins is an infectious disease doctor at Denver Health. He's also on a CDC panel investigating the overuse of these drugs. Do you think more needs to be done to limit the use of these fluoroquinolones?
Absolutely. In the CDC study of hospital antibiotic use, it was found that almost 50% of prescriptions were inappropriate.
As you heard Dr. Jenkins say, a recent CDC study found nearly half of fluoroquinolones given to patients in the hospital should have never been prescribed in the first place.
The fluoroquinolone drug class should really only be used when there are no equally effective alternative antibiotics that are available to treat infections.
In response to growing reports of disabling reactions, in 2018, the FDA issued its strongest black box warnings for these drugs. That kind of warning is designed to call attention to serious, even life-threatening side effects. But Jenkins says more than a warning on a box. Doctors need to be better educated.
Getting the message out to both providers and patients that there are real risks associated with these medications, but there is a lot of work left to be done.
Life would turn on a dime. And it did.
Mike Mendoza says his wife Dawn was a happy, healthy 49-year-old until she started taking Cipro.
I know this drug put her in a state of mind where it was over. She lost hope.
A doctor prescribed her the antibiotic after she was diagnosed with pneumonia. 7 days later, Mike says he found his wife at the bottom of their pool.
She had lashed herself to a chaise lounge and rolled herself into the pool.
Mike says in the 27 years they were together, his wife never suffered from depression.
And she gets on this drug in 7 days and takes her life. How can you tell me that drug, there's not a doubt in my mind, and that drug took my wife. It killed my wife. It took her down a rabbit hole that she couldn't get out of.
Reports filed with the FDA tied 221 suicides to Cipro and Levaquin.
It's a very strong drug, and it should be used carefully.
Denver attorney Seth Katz has filed multiple lawsuits involving this class of drug. What would you say to a patient whose doctor is recommending these antibiotics?
Ask your doctor hard questions. Do some research. Are they getting their information solely from the drug manufacturer, or are they doing their own independent research?
Katz insisting fluoroquinolone should always be the last resort, not the first choice. Bayer, the maker of Cipro, says fluoroquinolones are an important class of medications that treat a wide range of bacterial infections. It said all medicines have potential side effects, but those risks are communicated with doctors and patients through FDA-approved labeling.
If I don't distract, then I just have pain.
This is how John copes with the pain.
As long as I can keep my mind occupied on something else.
He wants more done to protect patients like him.
It's a growing issue, and it's not getting addressed.
The drug company says it closely monitors these antibiotics on an ongoing basis, and the safety of fluoroquinolones have been well documented in clinical trials. But for those who do suffer side effects, it can have devastating impacts. I'm Denver 7 investigative reporter Jennifer Kowaleski.
Helping the environment, 1 6-pack at a time.
This investment in capital that we're making is going to pave the way for all 30 brands to follow suit.
How a Colorado staple is helping solve the world's plastic problem.
A new nuisance roaming the streets of Greeley.
I don't ever remember seeing turkeys like this.
What you can do if you find yourself caught in turkey traffic.
Plus, the Pios get ready to head to Boston and the Frozen Four.